The remake is better than the original, but just by a little bit. Listen, I love the Lilo and Stitch animated movie and I watched it a lot as a kid, but this movie takes what made that movie good and made it a lot better. Before watching this, I rewatched the original because I haven't seen it in years, and while I still do really like the movie, I never saw how underdeveloped some of the characters are, how some things happen super fast, and just how much of a kids movie this really is. But the remake, sure, they make changes to the story and the characters and whatnot, but it takes what made that movie good and makes it a lot better. This is not just going to be a review, but also why I think those changes were needed. So take off your nostalgia hat, leave those biases glasses at the door, and let's get into it. Obviously, spoilers ahead. Lilo and Stitch the live action remake is a lot like the animated film, and it takes a lot of the same beats, but it makes changes where it counts. In the original, we understand that Lilo and Nani are together and without their parents, while Nani is trying to be not just the big sister, but also the mom. But they never really go into detail of how much truly Nani is struggling to keep everything together, but also the impact of missing their parents. Details in the new one like her truck hardly ever working and them barely having any food in the house. But also multiple mentions of their parents and how Lilo and Nani misses them. Like the touching scene that they have in the hammock in the movie instead of what they did in the original with them just talking about Nani getting a job. I also love the addition to David's grandma. She is simply lovely. I also feel like they brought in a lot more Hawaiian culture with the phrases that they say in this movie compared to the original one. I also like the changes in the addition to a new character of the social worker who is Miss Kokoa, who is also the original voice of Nani in the animated movie. Cobra Bubbles in this is just a straight up CIA agent from the start, which I think makes a lot more sense in context of the story, and then he goes undercover as the director of the social services to investigate Stitch, which again, in the context of the story, it makes a lot of sense. The beginning of the movie is literally spot on to the original, except for one missing thing, and that is Captain Gantu. When I first heard that he wasn't going to be in this movie, I was super confused because he is kind of the villain of this film. But when I rewatched it, his character is honestly kind of one note. I mean, he's in the beginning of the movie and then he's just kind of in the end, but he's only there because Pleakley and Jumba messed up their mission. So he's kind of just fills in the gap of like, let me grab Stitch, but his character is honestly useless. But with him taken out, Jumba fills that role as the villain and it makes a lot of sense to the story. And I understand, they got rid of a character from the original movie and Jumba doesn't have his accent, but it's honestly not that big of an issue. And for Jumba's character, it makes so much sense why he goes and does his own thing, and to be honest, it's not that far off from the original movie. I mean, he does the exact same thing in the OG movie that he does in the live action remake. The only thing that's different is Gantu doesn't stop him after they mess up the mission. I mean, he's still doing the same thing that he probably would have done if Gantu didn't step in. Speaking of Jumba and Pleakley, I know people are upset for whatever reason that they aren't in their really bad looking human disguises, even though they are in the beginning of the movie when they land on Earth. But for the context of the movie, them being in a human disguise makes a lot more sense. I mean, constantly throughout the film, people are looking at Stitch and they're like, are you sure that's a dog? So people seeing them in really bad disguises, they're gonna notice that they're aliens or really weird looking things. Plus in the OG movie, you hardly see Jumba and Pleakley around any humans except for the restaurant scene. I think the casting for this movie was almost perfect. And again, yeah, Jumba could have had his accent, but whatever. The only casting that I could maybe debate about is Cobra Bubbles. I think they could have used Terry Crews or someone bigger of size like he was in the original movie. But I think the actor who played him did a good job for what it was. I think Lilo was perfect. Maya did a great job at playing her, and they made her a lot less annoying than she was in the original animated movie. Sydney plays a really good Nani, and I think she brought a lot of heart and she did a really good job in her role. Also, people complaining about Nani saying it goes back on the core meaning of the movie either didn't watch this movie and are just going off of what TikTok is saying, or was not paying attention to the movie. Nani can't take care of Lilo. It's simple as that. No matter how hard she fights, she just can't take care of her. But Tutu, David's grandma, can. And Nani is still able to see Lilo as much as she wants because of the portal gun at the end of the movie. Again, people were not paying attention. It's not like she gave up on Lilo. She literally sees her all the time. Stitch was perfect in this movie. Literally no notes. He's chaotic, he's crazy, he's cute. I love everything about Stitch. He was fantastic in this movie. The movie is also super funny and just an enjoyable watch, and it's also a lot more heartfelt than the original movie in my opinion. The restructuring of this movie worked out great, and if I had to pick to rewatch one of the movies in the future, I probably would go live action over the OG if I'm going to be honest. I love both of these movies, but this one adds a lot more character development and missing stuff that the OG one didn't. That's why I gave the new Lilo and Stitch live action remake an 8.5 out of 10. If you guys like this review, hit that like button. If you guys want to see more, hit that follow button. And as always, thanks for watching.